Even in movies, the laws of equivalent exchange apply. You can't get out any more or any less than you put in. John Mayer.
John Mayer?
0. Not that one. We don't care for him.
John Mayer watches anime? What the hell?
I mean, he plays Pokemon Go. I remember that. Like, he spent $1,000 on those coins when it first came out. Don't make that face at me. I didn't do it. But anyways, hey guys, welcome to another episode of Did You Have To? I'm LaNeysha.
I'm Kate. And this is the podcast where we talk about live action adaptations of our favorite anime and decide whether they're bad adaptations or not.
Yes it is. So happy to have you guys back. And I hope we have some new listeners as well. But thanks everybody who tuned in for the first episode. So, if you could not catch on to like that little Easter egg in the movie the movie review, that we watched Fullmetal Alchemist, the Netflix original movie.
Netflix, new to Netflix movie. So it actually had a Japanese release in movie theaters.
What?
But Netflix is the only provider out of Japan that's able to show it.
Huh.
Which is why they brand it as Netflix original.
That makes complete sense.
I just found out that they do that with a lot of movies. Like, a lot of movies that they have on there were actually produced somewhere else and directed somewhere else, got another release, but they just rebrand it.
You know it, because they can make more money that way. They'll release it one place overseas, and then they can rebrand it to Netflix, and they'll make more money there. But that makes sense, because I just watched Erased on Netflix.
Ooh.
That was, we will talk about that one, because that was pretty... I would put it in a pretty good, but I will rewatch it again. But anyways, before we go down rabbit holes, so that is what we watched. Thanks everybody who tuned in, and you guys joined us for our live tweet. It wasn't just me and Kate going back and forth, talking about how hot the actors were, even though, like, let's be honest, Hughes was fine.
Roy Mustang!
Man!
Did the anime and manga justice there.
I will not complain at all. I was just like spot on. I was just like I was looking at the cast. I'm just like, this is a phenomenally cast. Like, I mean, even though I think you said like Winry's hair isn't blonde, but then at the same time I was just looking at everybody else. I'm like, I'm fine. I don't care.
I will get to Winry later. I'm not fine with other things about her. But the casting choice was really good, minus the blonde hair. Just because I always like her and Ed, like little blonde people.
Oh, yes, they're so cool.
They're matched
and cute together.
Perfect. But yeah, no, the cast was phenomenal. I think the casting and the costume design. So coming off of Dragon Ball Evolution, where no thought was put into the costume design, you can tell that the costumers on this movie look at like every angle of these costumes from the anime, because this is visually as close as we've seen on the podcast so far, because we only have Dragon Ball Evolution to go off of.
Only got 2 things to go.
But personally, from things that I like, just regular old live adaptations of other things, like this is really great, and it's really up there with making that come to life, especially Ed's red coat. Holy crap, it looks good.
So good. And it's just like visually, the world building, Al looking real. That was some magician alchemist CGI, because Al looked real. He didn't look like he was just stuck in there. Now, there were some CGIs where we're like, okay, this is terrible CGI, but we see why it's terrible.
They spent the time on Al.
I'm happy they spent the time on Al, and it's just like so good. But before we get any further, so I'll just read the description from Netflix. While alchemist Edward Elric searches for a way to restore his brother Al's body, the military, government, and mysterious monsters are watching closely. So that's what it says on Netflix. It doesn't give into too much detail. I really feel like this, as far as we both have watched the anime, so we know we know exactly what this is about, where it's like strangers would be like, what is this? What do you mean alchemist? What do you mean monsters?
What?
Yeah, in his body. Like, what? Why is he looking for his brother's body? And it's kind of like, I feel like for a 2-hour and 15-minute movie,
it was that long.
Really? It was that long. Yeah, that's what it says on the runtime. Like, it did a pretty decent job on at least building up to like who they were, what they do, and then the way they explain alchemy throughout the movie. I was like, okay, just like in the anime.
Yeah, and on that, it was really well done. It wasn't, like, it was exposition, but it wasn't exposition where it was forced in there. Like, I think the first time we hear about equivalent exchange, you have Al trying really hard to, like, defend his puny brother to the people calling his brother puny. And explain alchemy to it. It's just so sweet because if you watch, because if you've watched the anime, Al is the little brother of the alchemist pair, and he doesn't have a body, so he's in this giant metal suit, but he has this childlike voice. And it is just, it's so sweet and perfect.
He's like, brother.
Oh my gosh, it's so sweet. Oh, I have to ask, did you watch it in English or did you watch the sub?
I watched subbed. Okay, so this was my second time watching the movie. I watched it earlier when it first came out this year, and my God. The English one is terrible because you can't. Obviously, it's hard to dub over Japanese, like speaking with English. Like it's hard thing to dub them perfectly, but it was terrible. And then there's like the English. I think it's AD or AR, and it's like they describe the emotions of what the character is feeling in that moment. Just like Edward looks over like forlornly or whatever, and I'm just like, this is terrible. But if you want to laugh at it, that's fine. It's just like, it's weird. It's like there's a narrator on top of the voiceover.
Yeah, and then, and I know the moment it started, I made it through like the first minute where you see their mom with these cute little Ed and Al little boys with the wig. Their wigs were good.
Awesome wigs. Awesome job.
And I was like, oh no, why did it auto start in English? This is awful. I mean, I guess you know your audience, but this is worse than a Jackie Chan movie here. And I'm not here for it.
It was very bad. That was very bad. And I used to I used to be hardcore Dub Nation. But now I'm just like, no, I will sit here and read words and try to simultaneously watch.
I think you can get away with it a little bit in anime because I actually won't watch the subbed Fullmetal Alchemist because, of course, like most people in the US, I watched it on Cartoon Network. So I watched it in English, and so I have it's same thing with Sailor Moon. Like, it's something about the voices. The voices are off, and I can't do it.
Well, yes, I agree because, like, okay, so anime is different. It comes to live action when it's live action, and if it's like I will watch it live action with subs because it's weird, but like if it's animated, I prefer dub, but I'm not opposed to subs. But sometimes when you're like used to hearing, like, I think when I heard Vegeta's voice in the Japanese original, like the original voicing, I was just like, hold on, now I'm gonna go back to English. I'm
that
is
good. Not my boyfriend. I'm turning this
off.
That
is not him. He has a deep English-British voice for colonialism. Because he represents colonizers. I don't know. Oh my God, no. But yeah, so that's kind of like that, the movie in a nutshell. I think well, not in a nutshell, because it kind of, does it feel like to you they tried to cover at least like the first major arc?
Yes, yeah, and I think like storytelling wise, they tried to cover the first arc, which I think they do a pretty good job of doing it. And then visually, I think that's. So we'll get into it, but the movie doesn't stay with the source material 100%.
Nope.
It like goes off the rails the last
25%.
Yeah.
25%.
But visually, the movie and it's kind of like a shock because visually the movie keeps trying to go back to these. I mean, I don't know how many people watch Fullmetal Alchemist. It's been around for about 10 years now. So I would think it's safe to say iconic. Like there are some moments that they shot and visually it was that story.
Yes.
So that was really amazing to see. Like it's night and day between this and Dragon Ball Evolution. Just completely night and day.
I think, like, as we are introduced to the story, like, you see Ed and Al as they're younger, and, like, you see all that stuff, but it really gets your attention when you see, like, the streets they're running on, the buildings they're in,
the architecture
people.
Is so well done.
So good. And I'm just, like, watching it, I'm just, like, I feel like it's in the anime. And I've seen this before already, so, I mean, obviously, it's like it's hard to bring from like animation to real life. Like that's a like a challenge anybody has with directing and making a movie in live action. But you can tell that this team really took the time to be like, okay, that coat has to look like this, and this has to look like this, and we have to make sure that the blue like alchemist coats are on point because I want one of them now and I want it, so someone knows where I can get it.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things where I realized that was when you see the layers and the uniforms of like Mustang and Hughes, and like when you see their layers, and when oh my god, so what's her name?
Hawkeye? Risa.
Yeah, Risa. Yeah. When you see her take off her cloak and you see the other layers underneath, I'm just like, oh my god! Like they went into detail,
spitting image,
and it was amazing.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
just so good. I think that's what I will give it so many points for, just like visually captivating, everything. I almost want to be like, where the hell did you shoot this movie at?
Yeah.
Because everything looks real.
Yeah,
everything looks so real.
Yeah, I would really like to know how much of the effects were CG and how much were practical. Because like this, there is some really bad CG involved in some scenes, but there are other pieces where you feel like you are actually in this Italian-esque city and you're in this giant field, and you're like, a lot of it does feel, like you said, real. And I think Al is like one of the most real things in the universe. Like Al, I think the giant hunk of metal is more believable than some of like the fire that they show.
Oh yeah, it's like when I think of how Iron Man looks next to everyone else. Obviously, we know it is CGI, but it's like when you see him next, like the other Avengers in the movie, you're like, oh, that looks so real. And then the way people touch him and the way things are like happening, there's interaction. So you're like, oh my god, people took the time.
I'm really happy you brought that up, because when for my other podcast, we watched the first Iron Man movie, and I was blown away by how good the effects were on his suit and how it lasted like 10 years. And when I was watching Ed interact with Al and even Winry, there was nothing that made me feel that wasn't actually Al in the presence and that wasn't real. And I think you're completely right. Like that parallel, I guess, just because like metal is really hard to get right. And for those two, for like Iron Man and Al, like they fit into their universes and they don't stick out like sore thumbs, which is great. Because it's okay to have a battle stick out, but if your like main character doesn't look like he belongs, that's a problem.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's kind of like when Al walked, you could hear him walk like you would in the anime. It's just like Al moves, Al does everything. I just kind of felt like one of my things is that like we know that Al plays a bigger role. He's not just like, and like there was the part where like it takes the turn and Al gets taken advantage of and is captured, and you're just like, I get that CGI is expensive, especially when it's really good CGI, and that's why this plot device was thrown in here. So fine, I forgive it. But then there's like other things, like we said, like the suits, everyone looks great, everything looks good except for a few wigs. I am specifically looking at Ed's wig just because
still better than Starfire's.
You need to shush. You know that is a sensitive subject. Yes, it is better than Starfire's wig right now. I refuse to believe that is her final wig. I just refuse it. We're not gonna get into this right now, listeners.
I will say this, his wig was really bad, and I don't think it was the color. I think it was the fact that it looked like a freaking mullet. Like a braided mullet. It was just...
It was like, and then, okay, it's because I know there are better wigs out there, and this is my biggest problem when it comes to, like, set and costume design, especially when it's like, you have money. A good wig could probably cost you $200, and it could last you very long. Like, I go on Instagram, and I love just looking at people's hairstyles, and I'm just like, oh, that's a wig. That's a wig. And I'm like, oh, that is a wig. Because why? Because I can't tell it's a wig. A wig, I shouldn't be able to look at a wig and tell it's a wig. It's just that simple.
Yep.
But
there needs to be like this there's like this suspension of belief with like, oh no, that's totally that person's there. Like yeah, I can go for days.
Yeah.
And I actually just looked up cosplayers' wigs. Better than the one in the movie.
Oh, I am sure, I have no doubt that there are better cosplay. I've seen better cosplay with better wigs who've pulled off Ed's hair. And it just never stops to amaze me of how, like, y'all could have done better, but fine, okay, at least you did other things better.
Yes. Yeah.
So I will leave it there.
Yeah.
I will not rant about his wig as much as it's not as bad as Goku and Dragon Ball Evolution. That is probably what we're always going to do, is we're going to bring it right back to there. Is it as bad as Dragon Ball Evolution? No.
I mean, I will say the cool thing that I really liked, I guess we can just go and talk about characters now. Like, outside of the wig, his arm was really well done.
So well done.
And the scene where they show him making the exchange for Al, where he loses his leg and his arm, it was so good. Like, I did not, like, when we talk about CG, and I would have to assume a lot of this is practical just because it wasn't as intensive as some of the other shots. Like, it was really well done, and I felt for him in that moment. And I was like, oh my gosh. No, I'm so sorry. And like it like that's when we were live tweeting, I had a couple of moments where I wasn't live tweeting because I actually got pulled into what was happening because it was just so well done, which is really good. And I think as a character, the way they showed Ed's personality and his commitment to his brother was so good. And that final scene where he has the choice to take Al's body back, but he doesn't, is like heart-wrenching. And that's a testament to the actor. Like, this was an amazing actor for this role. He embodied Ed. And like, I think one of my favorite scenes is actually when Al and Ed are fighting after Show Tucker. And it's just perfect. And I also don't know how they make a giant metal, I'm assuming mostly CG suit of armor emote, but they did. Yeah. They really did.
It's like the voice acting of whoever played Al is just next level. We should probably look that up. It's just like, was that the original voice actor from the anime? But I totally agree with you. It's because I forgot for a moment that this is just a voice. It's not a person I'm looking at, but you could just tell looking at his just like mannerisms, whoever animated Al, like you could tell when Al was depressed, like you could tell from the pitch in his voice, like you could feel his pain, like, cause in the anime, there's that whole like arc where he starts to doubt what's real, what's fake, did my brother manipulate me, am I just something my brother made?
Yeah.
Am I real? Do I even still is my body even still around? So Al has all this really deep stuff going on for like a good 3 to 4 episodes. And they kind of captured all that in the 2 hours, which, you know, Al typically is the more emotional one.
Yes.
But he does it well to a point where I'm not annoyed with him. So he gets a pass.
So I did look it up. He's not the voice actor from the anime. But surprisingly, he only has 2 other movie credits.
Well, shoot, give him a job.
Exactly. Like, give him all the jobs, please.
All of them. I would listen to that voice anytime just because I'm like, you made me feel like this was an actual human soul.
Yep.
Bravo.
Yep.
But yeah, that was just, I think that was some of the best stuff from Al, which again, we're talking about a suit of armor with a voice.
Yes.
And how good the voice acting was on that. Let's just get into Winry. Let's bite the bullet.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I mean, look, I love Winry. She's one of my favorite things one of my favorite people in the anime and the source material. But this wasn't exactly the Winry we know from the anime. Like, we didn't get to see her do her stuff, like with the mechanics, like anything. We just know that she came and she fixed it.
She was there and a potential love interest.
A potential love interest, and that's it. And it's just like, we know that when we did get to see like the fiery side of her, where she doesn't back down from Ed, and she like really she is the boys' conscience. Like she helps keep them together when they lose themselves and pulls them back. And she's basically a symbolism of their home and their family. What I would have loved to get that flashback of her and Granny and the boys being raised together.
Yes,
that would have been even bigger.
Or even just like a moment of her working on his arm. Like there's a moment where he says, "Can you reattach this?" But like you don't get like the full understanding that the reason Ed has what he has is because of her. Because she is an amazing mechanic.
It's like if you didn't watch the anime, you don't know that.
Exactly.
And I mean, like she talks about it, it's like, oh, I made it, but it's like, no, I want to see you in your overalls with your giant wrench and you fixing it.
Like the hair bugged me, but that's whatever. Like you can only have so many wigs in a movie. I'm glad they didn't overextend their wig budget. I feel like this is going to be a common theme in these movies. But like the overalls, man. I mean, like that is classic.
The tomboy,
Winry.
The tomboy, awesome ass kicking mechanic. Yes.
But instead, we got her in like really frilly dresses. Every moment, and I'm just kind of like, that's not like that is who Winry is. It sometimes, but she also has another side to her, and it would have been great to have seen that at least nodded to. So
I do agree, because like you're right, because Winry is definitely this even in the anime, Winry doesn't really, I don't know if I want to say coded, but like as far as when it comes to like when it comes to gender roles, Winry doesn't really, she says fuck all that. She's a mechanic.
She just does what she does, and that's it.
She does what she does, and she's feminine, and she's strong, and she's bold, and she can be shy. She can be embarrassed, and she can be rash. It's just like
she has multiple like ideas. Like she embodies multiple like feminine identities, which is how most women live their lives.
Yes, she's not just this one way. She's not just a tomboy. She's not just a girly girl. She's not the dance. And oh my god, it's just, and like obviously yes, we love the Winry and Ed moments, but damn it, I still wanted her to be with her giant wrench and her toolbox, fixing up his leg and his arm, and it's just
There could have just been one moment where they show her doing that. One moment. Like while they're chilling, or like something. Like there are there's like tiny little down moments where they're just sitting there, and I'm like, just you could do more.
Just a little bit more.
Which I mean, I think brings me to like the other person that I was kind of really sad with, Riza. Hawkeye, because she is a phenomenal sniper in the comics.
Freaking good,
and she is not to be messed with. And I don't get that here either.
Like, you know how we've seen how Black Widow is treated throughout all of the MCU movies? That's kind of what I felt like they did with Teresa, where it's like, we know she's Roy Mustang's right-hand man. We know that she is this badass who can take out people, who is an awesome sniper. Like, again, because we watched the anime. And you get across from the anime, the few scenes that we see her, is that, she's the right-hand man. She's stoic. She's strong. She doesn't say much. But when she does say things, it has meaning. But I'm like, nah, man, I wanted to see her clock somebody with a gun from like 3 miles away.
And the only thing we get is her dealing with her gun pointing, and we don't get anything else, and that's at the very end.
Exactly.
And it's frustrating.
That's kind of it. It is frustrating, because she's been able to hold her own against like I feel like we've had some scenes from the anime where she's held her own against like very formidable foes, and it's kind of like, no man, I want to see her and Lust go at it. Like, I want to see that. Please. I wanted to see that fight, or like her at least getting Lust in the brain one time for them to escape. That would have been worth it. But I just, it's kind of one of those things where, obviously some major characters were lacking from this movie. Like he was in here. Loved that. Armstrong.
Yes, Armstrong. But you know what? Like, he was missing, but I'm kind of okay with it, just because translating Armstrong to live action would have been so hard.
But it would have been so good to see. I'm imagining maybe they actually would have cast someone who is like of European descent as Armstrong to like be in the movie, but like some huge German bodybuilder dude to come to be Armstrong. Because I'm just like, when that movie was first announced, I was like, what is Armstrong going to be like? Because he's the comedic relief, but he's also very in touch with his feelings, and he supports the boys, and he's like on their side through pretty much all of their like endeavors and adventures. So I did miss Armstrong. But, sorry, not to talk about the characters that aren't here, because I feel like that'll be a different discussion as we get down. But yeah, R.I.P. not R.I.P. because she's alive. If there's a sequel, I want more Riza and more from Winry. But I also want there to be confirmed love between Mustang and Riza. I don't give a care.
Please, yes, that would be
so powerful,
so good. Mostly just because I want a reason to have a scene with Mustang like completely shirtless. Like, I want him to go
like she's
there.
nursing him up. We could write this.
We got this.
We got this. But oh my god, yes.
That being said, speaking of Mustang, let's go through the rest of the good guys. Perfectly casted. Oh my gosh. And then there is that moment in the anime where they do show Mustang like cut to all hell, like ripped with his shirt open, his hand on his wound.
Shows that cleavage.
And they kind of did that in the movie, and I was like, I see where you got that from. I can appreciate that. That is great. But I think overall, like, some of the fire CG was not that great. But
better than Avatar?
Way better than Avatar. I will say that.
I will give it that.
Yeah. But, like, the fire may not have been perfect, but, the actor, I want to get his name because I feel bad.
Dean Fujioka.
Yeah, Dean.
Oh, wait, I might have. Did I butcher that?
Dean Fujioka, yeah.
Ooh, I didn't butcher it.
He is perfect.
Oh my God,
the way he acted.
You go ahead.
Like, the way he acted, his snaps. Like, I don't know why I felt so much with his snaps, but it was well done.
And it is such a powerful, like, moment for, like, the fans of the anime. It's just, like, we're like, oh, shit, it's about to be on. Because it's, like, all he does is this, and you're dead. Like, it's just, like, this huge... It's just a really great fan service when we see it, as far as like when like he's ready to like when he's ready to tear some shit up, his fingers are together and he's like, that's it, you're dead. So that was awesome. Just oh my god, loved him so much. And then like the fact that my fun fact that I dedicated to the live stream was that live tweet was that he's also a singer. And if anyone is a fan of Yuri on Ice, he is the singer of History Maker, one of the best anime songs ever. And he sings that, and I'm just like,
so you're just swooning even more now.
I am, because you can sing, you look cute, you have a nice pair of abs and chest, and hair. Oh,
I just want to rub my fingers through that hair. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, beautiful, beautiful hair. Oh, I'm drooling.
Yeah. It was well casted. It was well acted.
Very. And I mean, to be Mustang, who is like, honestly, the parts where like he's like an asshole. Like, yes, he is an asshole in the anime.
Yes.
It's like, I'm like, yeah, no. You almost made me hate you, but I can't because you are a very attractive man.
Yeah, like right after Show Tucker, when he's talking to Ed on the steps, I'm just like, I hate you so much right now, Mustang. You are gorgeous, but no. Do not talk like that to that little boy. Which, because we should also say they did age up the characters to fit the actors.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. Because I think, what is it? He's 16 when all this is going on, and Al's probably 14.
A whole bunch of abs. Don't know how that happened in the anime, but anime bodies.
Anime live action. But yeah, so that was I'm just like lost my train of thought because I'm looking at a picture of him. But because like every scene with him, great. I loved it. I was excited every time he was like back on the scene and talking, and like just the chemistry him and Hughes. Like,
yes.
like it is Ryuta Sato. The chemistry they had, I'm like, you didn't even have that many scenes together. You didn't even get to build this up through like the anime did. But you guys had, I felt it through the TV.
Yep.
I was just like, oh, this like really is getting to you, like, just because like their whole interaction, because even in the anime they have this whole thing is like, are you somebody I have to look out for? Maybe. Yep. I don't know. Are you someone I have to look out for? But then there's still that camaraderie and that friendship, and the loyalty is there, but then also it's like, oh shit, tension.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It was so good. I loved the scene. Pretty like the scene at the dinner table with him and his wife, and like all like, if I cannot fault this movie for the acting in any way. Yeah. I feel like all of these actors brought it, and they were all believable in their roles. Yep.
Yep. I feel like, again, it's just, it feels weird that it's like they didn't have to build up a lot of chemistry. Like, you know, like when you watch a movie and you can tell if people have chemistry or not. And I'm just like, I feel like everyone, it's just really good acting. I don't know if it's because of how well I remember the anime, and like I'm just like, maybe I'm projecting on it.
That makes sense.
And that makes sense, but it's because it looks just like the anime at some point. That it's like shot for shot.
Oh yeah, and I think too, like there are a lot of scenes between like simple scenes, like no words, between Al and Ed, or Al and Winry. Like there's a scene in the train car at the very end where Al's playing cards with her, and it's adorable, and like you buy that and you buy into it. And when after Ed and Al stop fighting with each other in the warehouse. And they just like Ed lays his puts his forehead on Al, and I'm just like, I'm done. This is what I wanted. I don't need anything else right now.
Yeah, it's just, it leaves you wanting more. And I should have said this earlier. It got 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh! I know, right? But we will get to why it got that. We know why. We know why.
You just want to talk about the good for right now.
We're not getting to that yet. We're going to talk about the good for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it has a 48 on Metacritic.
Before we get to, before we get to the real bad, my most hated nemesis in anime, we're not going to get to him yet.
We'll save him for the end.
Yeah, let's talk about his daughter. The children actor's adorable.
So, fun fact about Kate. I don't like kids. I don't like them even more when I see them in TV shows and movies. I feel like they are very hard to believe.
Yep.
But this, like every now, like the Stranger Things kids, I love them. They're great. The kids in this movie, so damn good. I wanted to hug them and protect them and shield them from the awfulness that is this life.
Yep. I feel like that's just all I want to say, is that like the children actors, spot on, adorable, innocent, got that across, weren't annoying. And this child is probably 5 and like speaking so well, and obviously I don't speak Japanese, but I'm just like, this little girl is saying some stuff.
Yeah.
And she's delivering it perfectly.
And her, and I like Al playing with her too. That was adorable. So good. It was
my ovaries.
Yeah. It was so good. It was so good.
Oh,
for a second, I wanted to go play with that child. That never happens. It was really well done, which I think is what makes the ending for that arc so much harder.
Fuck you, Show Tucker. Fuck you. I don't know. Did we decide if this needs to be a PG?
I don't care, honestly.
Oh, great, because we would be struggling right now. I feel like there are just
some people that you need to let it go. And Show Tucker is probably one of the worst pieces of shit in all of anime.
All of anime, and I'm including like Berserk in that. I'm including
Gantz in that. And there's some crappy stuff in that one.
Exactly. Do you know how bad you have to be for us to hate you this much over Gantz and Berserk?
Well, I'll tell you how bad you have to be. You have to be a man who has lost all sense of reality and decides to fuse his daughter with his dog.
You make a speaking chimera because you did it to your wife the first time.
Yup.
And then one of my friends on Twitter, sorry girl, I can't remember your name, but I know we were talking about it. And basically she's like, that would have meant they had a first dog also. I'm like, like the gif of like the realization gif where you're just like shook or you blink. That was me. I'm like, holy shit, there was a first dog too. Like I'm already pissed off because the wife.
Yeah.
Like your wife, which makes me think that Show Tucker was a abuser.
Yes, no, he has to have been. He had to have been.
He's like before even the alchemy stuff, like just like fighting, and then like I always just kind of got that hint of it. It's just like, nah, you was an abuser and you forced your wife.
Yeah, because he's like a megalomaniac, and he wants to he's a narcissist. Like, all of these things are trademarks of abusers, and I could easily see that is in his past.
Like, you transmuted your wife with another animal and made it to make a speaking chimera for you to become an alchemist. You weren't even good enough to become an alchemist on your own merits. You had to torture a human person.
Yep, which
disgusting.
Yeah, and I think that's what in the movie, and they do it really well in building that tension, because there was a moment where I was like, nah, movie's not gonna do that. No.
They ain't gonna do that.
And then they have a scene with him and his daughter, and he's explaining to her about the alchemy and how he needs to succeed. And it's so chilling, because if you watch the anime, you know what's about to happen. Now, the CG on the Chimera was not amazing. But the voice.
Enough to make you cry.
Oh, no.
That
the voice made me cry. The voice.
I'm like, shit, I'm crying.
Yeah, no. The voice made me cry. And
I was so mad.
Because she says, come play with me, 4 or 5 times. And I'm just bawling, oh my God, this is awful.
I finished the rest of my drink in that moment. I'm like, I'm just going to down the rest of this hard cider.
Yeah,
it's going to help. It's going to stop the tears.
Yeah.
It'll stop.
And then somebody was are you just discovering how bad Show Tucker is? And I was like, no, I saw it live action, and it is somehow worse.
It is 10 times worse seeing a human person rather than seeing the animated version, where you're just like, oh, he's just a villain. No, it makes you 10 times, it makes you hate that actor's face. Yep. Which, obviously, I don't hate the actor, I know it's a character. But it's still, I can't look at you.
It was.
Yeah, that's like when I watched the Ike and Tina Turner story, and I hated Lawrence Fishburne for at least a year after that. That's how much I hated this guy's face. But yeah, so for folks who didn't realize, yes, we know how bad Show Tucker is. It just sucks seeing it in live action.
Oh, yes. It hurts.
But I think we'll keep, we can hold off, the other reason why we really hate him towards the end of our discussion. But we can talk about, so just because we talked about how, some characters aren't in here, no, we'll hold that off too. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to I'm trying to have some kind of order, but let's talk about the chimera. What are they called? Lust, homunculi. Yes.
Yes.
Lust serving all the looks.
That is. So I think this movie has a whole bunch of moments where you're like, oh my God, the anime's come to life. But when they show Lust for the first time and you see her use her finger things, it was the anime come to life. And it was, she was so perfect. And she had a commanding presence.
Oh my God. So freaking, woman of few words.
Yeah.
Very badass. We were upset with Winry and Risa's performance. I was not upset with Lust.
No, not at all.
She was threatening. She was powerful. She was just like she's presented in the anime. Just spitting image. And even beyond that, the actress did a phenomenal job. I mean, just awesome. And then it's and then Envy.
Envy was
I know you like his hair.
Cast. That androgyny. Oh my gosh.
I do love that. I did love that part.
Done.
Yeah. I love that so much. Just
and out of the 3 homunculi, it looks like he's actually done the most work. His name's Kanata Hongo.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he's only a year older than me.
Hold on.
He's in dance, actually.
Is he also? I'm looking at a picture. He's in freaking Attack on Titan. Oh, we're gonna watch that one day.
Inuyashika's getting the live action?
Oh shit, we are making a list
coming up. Okay.
Yep. We're gonna have to make the season longer.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh! I did not know he was really on Attack on Titan.
His wig was like, there are some points where I was like, I don't really like this, but then there were other points where I was like, no, this is really accurate and kind of really well done. I think when there's like certain lighting where like whatever they use to stiffen it kind of looks weird on it, but there are other moments where it looks good.
Yeah, and I think it's just one of those things where it's like it's anime hair. It's not going to translate perfectly, but you're glad they tried. Because I'm happier that they did it rather than they did like with Goku's hair and just try to make it spiky. Yeah. Versus, like this, where it's like, you know what, this is a wig. You guys did a pretty damn good job. I would say a cosplayer did about the same thing. Yeah. And they could have CGI'd the hair, and I think that would have been worse. So I think they did a pretty awesome job.
Definitely good.
But yes, absolutely, the design, the androgyny, not trying to make it the like, oh, he's a male, she's a female. Like, I just like the fact that, like, this is the character, this is how they appear to be, and they're not trying to put, like, any extra things on them for no reason.
Exactly, it was perfect. It was really well done. And Gluttony, oh my god. Oh.
When he was running after those people, I cackled.
I want that as a gif. I want that as a "Let Me Love You" gif.
Yes, let me love you. And I'm just like, obviously it makes sense that the soldiers were running away like that, but I was like, if you guys can outrun him, you know that, right?
And please don't let this guy eat you.
Yeah, I mean, like, in the anime, I think Gluttony is actually super fast, but it's just like...
This one, he was just kind of like bumbling his way.
Away.
And I think the reason that scene, like, I definitely cackled as well. Like, holy crap. I actually took a screenshot of it. Just because, like... He looks so good until they do the CGI stomach on him, and then it's like... Okay, this is gone now.
I think, yes, because it looks comical.
Yeah, and you can
when he's running away.
Yeah, and you can see the clear shift from CG to practical. And that was one of the things that got to me, because, like, one of the things that I really like, that I think is a piece of really good effects work, is having it shift between CG to non-CG, and to CG to practical, and having that be seamless. Which I'm assuming they did with Al. With this, it cuts, like, clearly from CGI stomach to, like, prosthetic, like, top arms of a mouth stomach.
Wiggling.
Just, like,
wiggling. I think it would have been better almost if they had just, like, panned the camera back to Lust. Like, like, move, like, change, like, just focus off of him, but you see his shadow moving, where it's like, it's the illusion isn't broken.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would have been good.
Yeah, but I loved all of them. Like, spot on casting again, costume, awesome. Just all of the homunculi, top notch. Yep. So with that, I think we've gone through all the characters that we wanted to talk about. So now I can bring in the lack of characters.
Yep.
Specifically, I really wanted Scar. I really wanted him to be in this because, as we know, the Ishvalans play a huge part in the Fullmetal Alchemist universe. Yep. Just as a whole. Like,
and he's hot.
And he's hot. And oh my god, could you imagine who they would have gotten?
Okay, sorry
so much
for distracting that.
No, I'm just like, I'm thinking about who they... I love that man too. And I'm just like, who would they have gotten of Scar? So now I really want there to be a sequel so we can get Scar. Because we know, like, after Nina is transmutated into a Chimera, Scar finds her, and he basically gives her... he tries to fix her, but turns into a mercy killing.
Which makes that plot so much worse.
So bad. It like hurts. It hurts, but it's like, it's because he knows she's in so much pain that because, like, the dog is there too, like, that they're in so much pain in the state they're currently in, and it's like, I can try to ease your pain. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But that's also, like, the Ishvalans and Scar play a huge role in the, like, arc of the Philosopher's Stone itself. Because, again, as we know, like, Fullmetal Alchemist, the story and everything has, like, it's basically like the Holocaust. Yeah. Like, it's kind of like, I can't think of the word for it, but it's basically like the Holocaust.
It's a genocide.
Yeah. Definitely a genocide where it comes to the Ishvalans, and then you have, like, the army, and they say Fuhrer. Like, there's a lot of, like, things that they throw in there in the Fullmetal Alchemist movie and in the anime that you can tell, oh, they're obviously of German descent. Like, this is a movie and there's a war going on, and, like, that's the whole plot, is that they're soldiers and they're fighting. So, but to be on that point, but I felt like we saw that, but we would not have known that, like, towards the end, where it's like, because you know, like, the Ishvalans have white hair, and if you had not noticed that when they discovered, oh, Factory Number 5, that was actually a prison camp, and then you're just realizing that, like, oh, it was a prison camp where they created the Philosopher's Stones, and oh, they used the Ishvalan prisoners for the catalyst to make the stones. Yeah.
And, like, there was so much that, like, if you watch the anime, you had to read into because none of it was given.
Nope.
I'm wondering, now that we're talking about it, because, like, this is another topic, but it weaves in, the creator of the anime did not like the fact that they casted everybody as Japanese. And didn't include any European, any actors of European descent. And I'm wondering if this is why, because, like, I read what he said and he didn't say, like, any, like, at least the reports that I saw in English, it was just like, that's not what it is. So, like, I don't have any extra context, but I wonder if it's because it's almost essential to tell a story like that, just to how, like, people remember things, you know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying, exactly.
I don't mind that they're all Japanese. I think that it works so well, and it's perfect.
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that way, but I get what you're saying is where it's like, are people missing the point that, like, Fullmetal Alchemist is in a way used, like, the story itself can teach you in a way about genocide in World War II, and it's like making the characters now Japanese characters who were the villains, and behind behind these mass genocides, Japanese, is that people now are inferring that the Japanese characters are villains and that are the Japanese, where it's like, that's not the case. Where it's like, when I watched it, I definitely, like, you obviously know that, like, oh, it's like the anime hints at them coming from a European and German descent, and there's a war, and they say Fuhrer, so you're like, oh, Hitler. There's even the one anime movie where Hitler is in the movie. It, like, puts all of the dots together for you. Yeah. It does, because if you, again, had you not been paying attention to some points, you're just like, oh, wait. So it's like with the like, it's what they did to the Jewish people in Germany. Yeah, exactly. Except, like, they basically tell you they sacrificed souls to create a thing so that the people could live forever. And I'm just like, the Nazis used the Jewish people to profit off of their enslavement to fund their war. Yep. It's literally a parallel of the story. Exactly. And I mean, like, I get your point of, like, maybe his concern was, like, I actually would have preferred if it was done appropriately so that people are really getting that, they don't like, miss that. Shit. They don't miss that over that theme. The theme, because like, people have a way of, like, not paying attention. It's like, oh, what a powerful story. It's like Zootopia, where why not bring Disney into this? But it's like when people are like, oh, what a lovely story about a fox and a bunny becoming friends and overcoming prejudice. I'm like, actually, I won't say I'm not the actually person, but it's like, for me, in my opinion, it was about how people of color are typically seen as threats, even though we're actually ones that are threatened. You see how that worked? The prey is actually threatening the predator because you infer us as predators, but we don't even want to mess with y'all. Yeah. But okay. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah. But like, racism. So I think ultimately, like, I think this is something that we'll see, because like any
like any culture that makes films and stories, like they're not always centered in Japan. So it'll be interesting to see, like, as we go through these movies, like what lands and what doesn't. Or like, this isn't even that it doesn't land; it lands, but they change the story and they don't really focus on a lot of those overtones that we see in the anime, specifically with references to Germany and the Holocaust and stuff like that. I think they still did it well. But you do miss the entire side plot that you understand what the military has done.
Yeah, which I feel like in a way, by them not really bringing that in, most people would be like, we already have a Philosopher's Stone, why don't you just use it? Where it's like, the decision to not use the stone was heavy on Al, because after he found out exactly what they did, like being told that they killed millions of Ishvalans to make one stone. The weight of that being on him, he did not feel like it. So like, as somebody watching this for the first time who maybe isn't familiar with that, how the stone is made, they probably would have been like, well, you already have a stone, it's harmless, like those people are already dead, just use it. Where it's like, me thinking it's like, no, because he knows now that millions of people died to make this stone. And it's like, I feel like it's kind of lost a little bit, because like in the anime, Mustang is even there when like the genocide is happening, and you see like that's what made him decide this is why I will not follow orders, and I will go down my own path, and like that's his motivation now. And we kind of don't get that either. So it's kind of like I'm just saying the Ishvalans in Scar for me play a big role in the anime, and like bringing meaning. Yeah. So, I mean, I get it, time, but if they make a sequel, I want it.
Please.
I would just want more details on it, because I feel like that adds more weight to like the character's decisions. Like we know that Mustang's decision to rise up in the ranks isn't because of his own selfish reasons, but it's to bring justice and expose these war crimes from the inside. And that's okay. Now I'm good. I just had to get that out.
No, I mean, it's a major change from the story, because if we get into it, this movie for this last 25% is a major detachment from the story. Re-enter Show Tucker.
Yes. So let's kind of let's just real quick recap of it. So first 25%, we see Al. We were introduced to him. We get their origin story and all of that. They're chasing after Father Canelo. Yeah, he's in this one too. He's not that important. Then we move on again. We see Al and Ed. They meet Show Tucker. They're at his house and all that good stuff. They meet Nina, and then all blah, blah, blah. And then they go looking for the one professor guy to learn about what was going on and they lead them down learning more about the Philosopher's Stone. Then we get to the third act, and we see Show Tucker turn Nina, that bastard, son of a bitch, turns his daughter into a chimera. Show Tucker gets arrested. The boys have an emotional... They've been through a lot of shit. They're trying to, I guess, get their motivation again. And Rennery helps them, I guess, in there somewhere. I guess. And it's like, there's a good 20 minutes of them all being sad and emotional.
Yeah.
And like a lot of words are exchanged and not much action. And now we get to the hard left that this movie turned. So I'm going to let Kate take it away.
So, essentially, what happens is you have Hughes get killed by Envy in the guise of Roy Mustang. Would you like to say what's wrong here?
Yep.
Would you like to say what's wrong here?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So that in the anime, it's not Roy that's disguised. It's Ross. It's not agent, but it's like the soldier, it's
Ross.
Sergeant Ross, and she's actually Envy disguises himself as Ross and kills him. That's how like they're aware of everything that's going on. But again, plot device, saving time, film is expensive, and so is CGI.
Yep.
They cut that out, and they instead insert Roy Mustang in, which for a brief second I forgot, like, oh shit, he died thinking it was him, and no, that's his best friend, that had to hurt. But then he knows that it's not Roy Mustang.
Which is revealed at the end, because you find out that he was on the phone with Roy. And so that's, and
Yeah,
and
but
so
that's how like good. Roy found out, and it's just a good callback. But then like Envy did pull off turning into his wife.
Yes.
Oh, that had to hurt again. It's just like I hate that Hughes died so early in the anime. Such a great character,
and it hurts me now that he died. But he's
Yeah, and seeing it in live action.
I don't like it.
Me neither.
So beyond that, probably the biggest thing is you end up, during this whole scuffle of them trying to round up everybody who is associated with Roy so that they can bring it to justice, they end up losing Show Tucker in the process.
He escaped, apparently.
He escaped. I don't know what the hell happened. They just lost him.
He went rogue. Apparently he went rogue. Because here's the other thing. Apparently he's working with Envy.
With the homunculi.
Oh, wait, no. He didn't get away. The shifty general let him out.
Yeah,
that's right.
Haruko?
Him.
Haruko lets him out. But the reason I say somehow it happens is because the homunculi don't know that he got out. They're surprised by it. And then they go into the tunnel, they have their fight, and then you end up going to the area where I guess I missed it, but Winry and Al have been kidnapped. And
that was random.
Being held by Tucker. And Tucker is attempting to use the power of the Philosopher's Stone to be an alchemist and fulfill his mind. And then you find out that Haruko actually wants all of these little homunculi babies to have the Philosopher's Stones embedded in them and become his unfeeling, unthinking army. To which the homunculi seem really like, nah, this isn't cool. Like, nobody here thinks this is a good idea. The bad guys don't think it's a good idea.
It was a terrible, like, the whole plan is, like, to make this soulless army, basically, out of human souls from the Ishvalans, basically.
It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. And then where does it get convoluted? I still don't get what Show Tucker's purpose is in all this besides his ego.
Other than to stand there? Just to stand there and talk about he's going to be better because he's going to use all these Philosopher's Stones?
Like, jealousy and pride, and, like, that's all he has is, like, for his motivation. I'm just like, oh, my God, they should have just killed him. But anyways, he's just serving as a plot device.
Pretty much.
Farther down the line. But then it's like, it takes a turn because they realize, oh, no, we can't control the power of the Philosopher's Stone and these soulless bodies. Who would have guessed? Yeah. Everybody would have guessed.
Literally
don't you pay attention to the law? Everybody. Don't you pay attention to the law of equivalent exchange? Apparently not.
It's only the main rule in alchemy.
Yeah. I mean, as we push up our alchemy glasses. But yeah, like everyone says it literally in every scene of the time in all of it. But yeah, so that happens. That's where the really weird change happens. Yeah. And basically the rest of the movie is them fighting against them.
But they're not really fighting against them because they just kind of like end up fighting against the homunculi now. Even though, they did some bad stuff in the beginning and they definitely killed Hughes and that's a problem. I get it. But you seem to have bigger things to fry than them right now.
Yes, because now the real homunculi, the people homunculi are like getting away. And all this nonsense, Roy has been stabbed because he saved Risa. Yes. Further proof of my true love. Yes. Okay. Oh my God. Yes. So he got stabbed. He's like going after, was it Lust and Envy? And this is where we see the iconic scene of him just.
Gluttony is like off eating all of the other failed homunculi things.
Let's call them like fake homunculi, like the bootleg ones.
Yeah, bootleg homunculi.
Bootleg
homunculi.
Yeah, because obviously we find out that this was not part of Envy's plan. Of Lust's plan at all. She's like, you have no idea what you're dealing with, you stupid humans. Listen to, like, we're in charge, which again gives you the idea of like, oh, so you guys are taking orders from them. So then who's the real boss in charge?
Allusions to number 2.
Which I hope they do, because that would be a really, really good one. I don't care, y'all. We probably would spoil Fullmetal Alchemist for you in this. You just have to be okay with it. But yes, I would like for that to be brought in, because we know that from, like, again, spoilers, but, like, we know that the boy's father created the homunculi. And he's so actually the reason... and he made the Philosopher's Stone. So, like, that's just another thing that it would have been, like, if they had a shadowy figure in the back when they first made the Philosopher's Stone, just give me, like, the beard and the glasses.
Yep.
We would have known who it was. But that would have just been, you know, another good little tie-in to a possible number 2. So, yeah, all that stuff happens. And, yeah, Roy Mustang does his thing. Al and him work together. They burn Envy to a crisp. They kill Lust, I think.
They burn Envy like so many times, like, that's your last life. And then they burn her the final time, quotation marks on final time. And then Lust is taken care of. I didn't, it's weird because it seems so much bigger when Roy fights in the anime and really iconic. And it was kind of like that was it.
Anticlimactic, because it's like, I'm used to seeing him, like, when he's, like, double-handing it, it's like he's, like, orchestrating.
Yeah.
He's directing an orchestra, and he's, like, snapping back and forth, and he's like,
this, it was just like,
oh, I'm gonna get you. Like, one strong snap. Yeah.
And I'm just like, no. So it was kind of a letdown. Yeah, it was kind of a letdown. I'm actually sad we didn't get to see Ed fight more, because we see it in the beginning, which is kind of nice. You see him dodging everything, and it's cool. And you see him fight with Al, but you don't really get a lot of it outside of that. And it's
because they are trained martial art, like, they've been trained in martial arts from their teacher, who should have also been in this movie. But it's cool. It's fine. It's not, but okay. I want them to go back home in the second one. But yeah, no, because they are actually very well trained fighters, and they are, like, they can kick ass. And just like, I don't think did he do the sword thing at all with his hand, with his arm? I don't think he did that.
No,
at all.
He didn't do it.
And that's something that's, like, again, iconic, but I get it. CGI cost a lot of money. Okay, fine. But it was nice to see them in action.
Yes.
And then all that stuff happens. Oh, they grab this. They did kill Lust, because they snatched the Philosopher's Stone out of her chest. Which, again, was the stupidest thing, because I'm like, why would you show them that you can't die because you have a thing in your chest?
Yeah. Like, looky here, it's right in my chest.
Yeah. No. See, and it's open now. I'm like, no. Lust is smart. She wouldn't have been that dumb.
Nope.
But then I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to go rewatch the anime, because maybe they did have her chest open at one point and she showed it off. Who knows?
I think the reason it's a problem here is that it's just so condensed.
Yeah.
That, like, it just doesn't work. Because I think she does show it off in the anime, but it's like at the end of a fight, I think, and then they go into another thing. Like, essentially, like, I think it's not like this, where it's like, oh, I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to die right after.
Yeah.
Like, they know that she has it in her chest for, like, quite a long time. But again, 2-hour movie.
2-hour movie. Maybe they were trying to get it all done in one go, because they might not get another chance, which happens in these kind of movies.
Yep.
So yeah, and then we get to the end. They have the Philosopher's Stone. They're like, "Oh my God, we can finally get your brother's body back." Okay, what are we gonna do? And then they're faced with the decision of, like, do we use this thing that was created with thousands of souls, or do we not use it? And
which I feel like, and I think you kind of mentioned it earlier, I don't think we really get that weight, like that weight of that decision in that moment.
I don't think so. I agree, because I don't think like, the realization of knowing, like, I guess maybe they figured that, like, just knowing that it's a few souls, because they didn't say, like, how many people put, because you see, like, these giant cylinders of Philosopher's Stones are in, like, the scientist evil lair thing, but then, so, like, we knowing from the anime is, like, okay, you're gonna have, like, 1 million souls is in each of those stones, because they had to kill an entire city of Ishbalans to get one. So, like, that's when I was thinking, like, oh, you guys are sick bastards. But I'm guessing they're just making it seem
once. And then
only once.
Yeah, and then it's just kind of like not really mentioned or like it's weird. It just you don't get that weight.
It's not. Yeah, and I'm not trying to belittle life, obviously. Like, everyone's life is precious. Yeah. And I just feel like maybe they were just figuring, like, oh, the idea of just it being one human soul will be enough for the boys to not use it. Where I'm just like, well, if they're going by the law of equivalent exchange, one soul for a soul, they could probably justify that. But, like, me, knowing that it's like millions of lives were used to create it, nah, I can't touch that. And it seems wrong. So, but yeah, but then we see Ed go back. Is it the wall? What is it? It's the something of life. I can't remember that place.
Oh, it's like the gate.
That giant.
It's the gate. Yeah, it's a gate of life or something.
Yes, it's something like that. But that gate looks so good. So it was just like another great
really
prop.
Good. And even the shadow, it was like the person made of mist that Ed's interacting with.
The one who's like, oh, I'm God, I'm everything, I'm nothing. Like, I'm like, this thing is creepy as hell.
Yeah, and it was really well done. Like, that was some pretty good CG.
Heck yeah. So that was awesome. And then just, like, you seeing Al's body there just slowly, not decaying, but, like, withering away.
Yeah, he's so tiny and, like, frail.
So tiny, so frail, just like in the anime. And you're just like, oh my god, this is heartbreaking. And it's like him making the decision to not use this stone because they know it's wrong. Yeah. So that he can find another way to give his body back. Which I had to remind myself, how did they get his body back in the anime? And I was just like, oh yeah, that's right. He had to give up his alchemy.
Yep.
Got it.
And I think my big problem is just like when they decide that, like, I mean, I just don't feel like the viewer who hasn't watched this movie before does not understand the weight or why they're making this decision. It just kind of looks like, oh, not gonna make this exchange. There's a reason somehow. It's dramatic. Instead of this is steeped in the blood of millions. I can't make this. It's lost because it's a focus. Like the focus is on Ed's fixation with getting his body back, not necessarily the weight of making that choice. And that has to just do with like how they did this entire back part of the movie.
I agree. Yeah. Because I mean, like, even in the beginning, because for someone, again, like we're looking at it from the eyes of a viewer who has no, like, history of like the franchise. In the beginning, we hear Al said he would do anything for Al, and I think there was a huge foreshadowing when Mustang said something about killing, or I don't know. Mustang said like, "What would you do?" And then Al was like, "I would do anything." So I'm like, well, he's willing to do anything. So me being if I was someone who had no idea about it, I would have been like, well, why didn't the hell he just use it?
Exactly. You said anything. So, I mean, why not this?
Yeah, like, why not this? Why is this the thing that stops you? And it's like, because, again, as we've said several times, millions of lives, it takes millions of lives to make one stone.
Yep.
Nobody can do that with a clear conscience, and Ed would hate himself.
Yep, and Al would hate himself.
Al, oh my god, Al would have so much guilt. He can't handle that much guilt. Ed would try to, like, carry it, but they would be depressed. Yep. They would just be a wreck. No, they could not handle it. I mean, and they've already broken the laws of alchemy once. I'm pretty sure they're just like, let's not do anything else bad with alchemy anymore. So
I will say this, watching this live action, I don't know if you've watched Supernatural or anything like that. Like, but, like, Sam and Dean really remind me of Ed and Al. Like, so much. And it was, like, really apparent.
I was having those same thoughts about it as I was watching it. And, like, obviously anime is just great. It's storytelling also. So, like, there's themes in other mediums, like in other stories and movies that are similar. But, oh my god, I was having that moment. It's just like, he dies? Okay, I gotta bring him back to life and I'm gonna put my life at risk. And, like, you guys won't ever let each other die.
Exactly.
And you fight about it. It's just and it's a stupid thing. It's the stupidest trope, but it's like, it's because you're my brother.
It's a good one. It's a brotherly love. It is that brotherly love, and I need it.
I did need it. I needed it because it's just like, it's so cute and it's adorable and they will do anything for each other. And it's like, there's the movie that even does that where I can't remember, I have to watch this movie over, but the anime movie where Al ends up in the parallel universe, this is the one where Hitler exists and it's all bad. But then, like, Ed has his I messed up. Ed is in the parallel universe with Hitler. Okay. And, like, the uprising of the Nazi party. But they're not calling it Nazis, but it's basically the Nazi party. And then Al, is trying to get Ed back to their world. So I'm trying to remember if this was a movie that was in canon.
I don't know.
Because I feel like it was canon.
Seen it.
I'll have to look it up and I will put it in the show notes. But you know what? I have Google in a cell phone. What? Let's see. Fullmetal Alchemist. I'm sure this is great listening material. Movie.
Get it down.
Bear with. Yeah. Yes. It was Conqueror of Shambhala.
Okay.
Yeah. Conqueror. My bad.
Okay.
But it sticks out to me because Al had his body back, and he's wearing Ed's red coat.
See, I haven't seen this. Like, I need to see it.
Okay. Germans discover the existence of an alternate reality and try to harness its power of alchemy to further their war effort.
Huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it's good because they actually call out that it's related to Germans and World War II and the Holocaust. Like, if anybody ever wanted to argue that Fullmetal Alchemist was not, like, a vehicle to tell the story of the Holocaust...
Here you go.
Here you go. I can't prove you wrong any more than this. But yeah, so yeah, guys, check that out if you're interested. But that is pretty much bring us a close to the movie. Mm-hmm. And I guess if anything else you want to talk about related to it?
Not really. I think we need to give our ratings and our favorite part. So I'll go with my favorite part. And my favorite part is Ed and Al fighting. It's what I liked the most out of this because their fight is so well done. The ending scene where I think I already mentioned it, where Ed is resting his forehead on Al's chest, and it's just it's too good. It's so well acted, and we actually get a little taste of what Winry's supposed to be. And a suit of armor makes like emotes, and it's just really good, and it pulls at your heartstrings. So that for me was what I liked the most out of this movie. Yeah, now rate it after you give yours.
Okay. So basically any scene with Roy Mustang, all the scenes with him, just top-notch acting, amazing, great job. Just loved all of it. I really liked that, the world building is my favorite part because it's not just the clothes on the main characters looking like basically like they stole it out of a picture and they put it on them. It looks so good. You see the time and effort it took to make the costumes of every single character, and it was worth it. So I love the world building, the architecture, the buildings. Like they could have so easily just shown up, like just done an inside of the rooms of it, but like no, you see houses and buildings.
You see Ed run through the streets.
Yeah, through the streets. And it's like, I don't know. I want to know where they shot this so badly. Because, like, obviously, yes, most of this is probably set design. But it's some pretty damn good set design. I would like to go, I want to go vacation there. It looks so good. But yeah, world building is a huge thing for me. And anything with Roy Mustang and Hughes. Yeah. So.
Oh,
great.
And I will say just Al overall. I'm going to add that onto mine. Al overall. I did not think that they would make him look that good and that real.
Same. I will say that too, because again, how do you make a suit of armor, which we know is just a giant tall person in a CGI suit, this freaking good? Yep. And the actors who interacted with him in every scene.
So well done. Perfect. It was believable. I bought into the story.
So well done. I cannot say enough nice things about how Al looked and acted.
Yep.
Just the best. And now for the ratings.
Okay, so I believe we were rating, it's not intuitive, it's the opposite of that you would think. That it's how many drinks we have to drink to get through this movie. And I only had to drink one. That was it. I made myself my Philosopher's Stone.
Yes.
And I nursed it the entire movie because I didn't feel like, oh my god, I gotta get this through until it actually, I think at Tucker's, it was the moment when I same with you, like, well, I'm gonna drink a big swig of this now because I cannot deal with this pain that is inside me. So yeah, I'm gonna rank it with one drink. So it's definitely above Dragon Ball Evolution. I'm really interested, now that we've done one Japanese movie, I'm really hoping that it keeps in this trend of at least being pretty good.
Yeah. I would agree, because for me, I would say it took me 2 drinks, and it's only because I knew that hard left towards, like, after the third act of the movie was coming. I was just like, oh shit, let me just go get another one to, like, brace myself. Because it's just like, there's nothing that really can, the fighting isn't that good in like the last act. Obviously it's not that good. And like, from what we know from the anime, it's just like, you're expecting a really great fight, like fights and all this other stuff, but it just doesn't happen. It's mostly just them talking. So that's what kind of, for me, is
and like Doctor Strange level hand movement things.
Oh my god, yeah. So bad. But again, it only took me 2 drinks, and that's not bad because, again, I didn't finish the first one until after the third act, and I was paying attention to it. There was parts where I stopped live tweeting because I was like, I missed that the first time around, because it's good. Like, it's just really pleasing to watch. It's nice to look at. We can't stop saying enough things about the characters and like the work where the money went to make good CGI, because there was bad CGI, but like it made up for it because not all of it was bad. Yeah. So yeah, 2 drinks. I will give it 2. But again, still so much better than Dragon Ball Evolution, where we said 10 drinks, which obviously we did not drink that much. We're just saying
that's how many
it was going to take that much. I only needed 2 drinks on this one because I was actually entertained for 75% of this movie.
Actually, I will say this. I think I definitely need to go with you on the 2 drinks now that I'm thinking about it, because there's a lot in that back end that it's just kind of like, because I'm thinking about, okay, well, like 1 drink would have to be perfect. Well, I guess 0 drinks could be perfect.
Or we forget about our drinks being there.
But yeah,
that's possible. We haven't come across it yet. We'll see. But yes, for sure, I would say like 2 drinks, just because there's moments where I'm like, I'm so into this movie, but then it's like when it takes that hard left, you're like, I can get up now and make another drink. So yeah, but I liked it. So now we go on to, did they have to? What do you think?
I think they did. I think it works. I think the casting is the reason why they had to, because I feel like that man was meant to play Roy Mustang, and that voice actor had to play Al at some point in his life.
I agree. I agree. I think it's, and again, like you said, when it comes to like the manga art, the author of the manga, they, like, them not, like, appreciating it, not that they didn't appreciate it, sorry, I'm stumbling, guys, it's late, them not being on board with the casting, like, we get their point, but at the same time, I appreciated that it was an all-Japanese cast.
And it didn't detract from anything, really.
No, it didn't change anything, because, again, it's a source material that comes from Japan. It's a story that is written by Japanese creators. And I feel like the people, like, I appreciated that it was told by them with this talented cast. Like, It's just an amazingly well done job. While, like, through our discussion, we understand why, like, I feel like me and you feel like, okay, we get why he didn't feel like it should have been casted this way.
I think ultimately his concerns aren't there, so like they don't come to fruition, which is really good because it lands a lot of the time. I will say this, like, because I kind of said it earlier, I do want to see how more movies go in this vein, just because, like, if you look at something like, I think I mentioned it last episode, but like Battle Angel Alita, which is set in the U.S. and stuff, not having a predominantly Asian cast, and how that goes. But I think the difference here is just ultimately it's how you adapt the material. And I think there are ways that you really mess that up if you try to insert like Western, like US identities and ideas into these things that aren't built around that. That's when you run into a problem. Whereas I think going the other way to where it is literally like this, including the people who this was made for and who wrote it and directed it, that's a completely different thing. And it doesn't detract in that way because it's ultimately you're still getting that storytelling point of view from that culture. So I think it's perfectly fine. And it was really good. And I love all of those actors, except for you, Show Tucker. But I guess that means I like you because I hated you in it.
Oh, so much. So friggin' much. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. I am interested to see how Battle Angel Alita goes because, like you said, it's different when you think about where is the story, like the source material, based on and placed versus like where this one is like. First off, it's a fictional reality, like a fictional world and everything when it comes to Fullmetal Alchemist. So
it's entirely different.
You can. It's completely different. It's not like they are like, oh, this is Germany in 1919.
No, it's a made up land.
This is happening.
It just
Yeah, so I'm like completely different things, but I feel like I am interested to see Battle Angel Alita and kind of like see how that goes.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I think that's it. Should we tell them where to find us?
Yep. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so you can find the podcast at DY. God, I always have to do this. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it one of these days. DYHT_pod. On Twitter. That's where we do all our live tweets, and that's where you can let us know what you're thinking about. This movie was actually, we didn't say it in the beginning, it was chosen by a poll. So let us know what you want to see. You know, give us some recommendations, live tweet with us. And then you can find our podcast on butwhythopodcast.com under the podcast tab. And we should have our own RSS feed by now. So please make sure wherever you're listening to this to rate, review, and subscribe to us. It'll help other people find us, and it'll make sure that you stay in the loop when we release the episodes. And you can find me at OhMyMythRandir on Twitter.
Awesome. That was amazing. You can find me also on Twitter at LA_NEY_SHA, and that is LaNeysha. I be over there on Twitter asking people anime questions and whatnot, but also me and Kate just nerding out about anime things that we find out.
Did you see
together.
Vegeta's butt at SDCC?
Say what?
That statue, did you see Vegeta's butt?
Oh, yes, I did see it. Oh. So good.
Yep.
Did you see the the Brawly movie?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I never thought I'd be so excited, but it's like mainly because I get to see my boy again.
I just like all the tweets
fighting.
being like, just give him this moment. Stop letting Goku come in and finish him off.
Listen, I have been saying this for years. I am tired of Goku getting all the credit. It even happens in the video games when you don't even fight with Goku. I was playing Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I beat Android 21 with Vegeta at the end, and they're like, "Good job, Goku." I'm like, "Bullshit." My boy killed her. What are you talking about?
And this is what you can expect on Twitter.
Huh? I'm sorry, I was like,
this is what you can expect. I said, this is what you can expect on Twitter, listeners.
Yeah, us like validating why we need a Vegeta origin movie, which we should have.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, that's just so good.
Saying a spin-off, series, a mini-series. I'm just saying 26 episodes, seeing when he was first captured by Frieza, raised up. Yup. I'm just saying, you did a Bardock movie. Why don't we get a Vegeta origin movie? See, I'm just saying, Akira Toriyama,
you gotta keep putting this into the universe.
And we don't. I mean, I would take a little bit of money. I have student loans. I mean, I feel like you could kick us a little bit of cash.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was gonna say, like, we don't even have to pay us. I'm like, no, pay us. We're creatives. Yeah. We need money. But yeah, listeners, go ahead, follow us over there. Connect with us. We want to try and build a community because we want to be involved with you guys and we want to hear from you guys. So next time we do a live tweet, I hope we can get a few of you to message us and give us your own reviews, and we will read them on the podcast also. We're going to have to pick another live tweet soon. I feel like we kind of plan ahead. But I think, man, I don't know. Maybe we should do you think we should do another poll? Or we'll figure that offline. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure that offline because we got to figure out where we're going to go with this. Because it can go like complete crap storm. Or
oh my god,
potentially
somebody's gonna hate us. Somebody's gonna just want to punish us, and they'll pick Death Note on purpose.
Oh gosh, yeah.
We're not ready for that yet. We're gonna save that for like a season finale.
Yeah, I think that works.
So, yeah, we're gonna save that as long as possible. But thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, but alrighty then. So that's it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for another episode of Did You Have To? And we still don't have a sign-off yet.
Yeah, we don't. So, think of one for us. Tell us. We'll give you credit.
Yes, find it for. Yes. All right. Well, you guys have a good time. Thanks again for listening, and see you later.
Bye.